In this video, we're gonna go over feet and why toe strength is a crucial part of having the full body be completely balanced. And so we're gonna get straight into it. What's a good way, boyo, to be able to prime and activate the foot, especially if you're dealing with any plantar fasciitis or adhesions, back pain, whatever you're dealing with?
Yeah, so number one is starting with a PVC pipe. Even if you don't have this, everyone's got a broom. So what you wanna do is start right here underneath your heel where your plantar fascia actually starts. You wanna dig that part into the PVC pipe and as wide as you can. You want to get your pinky toe as wide as you can and your big toe. Really trying to use all 5 of the toes, really spreading it out. You don't want to go too far in front. You want to stay towards the back and just really open that up. If you think about pushing the toes out, you'll really feel like the insides of the feet up right here, even behind the Achilles kind of open up. I kid you not, like I've been having some like heel stuff going on because I've been jumping a lot more. Doing this the last 2 days has been actually kind of nuts. Like I'm opened up, like I could put force on my back of my plantar fascia and my heel and it feels a lot more free and open. So starting that is going to be huge for plantar fasciitis and really open up the foot.
So spending time in this is really just like anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes being active on the foot. And then we're gonna move on to a Bosu ball. Why the hell are we using a Bosu ball?
Right, so once we got the tissue and the fascia at the bottom of the foot loosened up, we have to get it activated, right? And so the Bosu ball is a great way to activate the foot because you're stimulating it, you're exposing it to a different type of surface. Every time I'm stepping into the Bosu ball, I'm pressuring into it with the foot and it's molding to the pressure that I give it. So I'm activating all those intrinsic muscles of the foot now that I've released it and it's basically turning on. You wouldn't just go drive a car 60 miles an hour without turning on the engine first. Same thing with the feet.
So what is this a good example for? So we mentioned this in our low back video that we just made, but think about this is a different surface than just walking on concrete or whatever the gym floor is. This is a very difficult surface for the foot, right? Especially if you're targeting the fascia. This feels like rocky, like stepping on rocks, like very hard surface, pressure point surface. This, if you really think about it, is kind of like sand, right? When you step into sand, you kind of sink into it. It's the same thing when you go in the Bosu ball. Right, and so those little intrinsic muscles, tendons, and ligaments within the foot, same thing that like how they are in the hand, are being activated, are being strengthened, right? And everything starts from the foot.
And a lot of people will look at this and say like, oh, this is just like a circus trick, whatever, because the Bosu ball is unstable. The ball is flat on the bottom, so it's actually stable. It's just giving you enough of an uneven stimulus to activate those smaller foot muscles because it can bend and it has give to it.
Yeah, exactly. So spending, 5 to 10 minutes doing both is amazing. If you have these in your gym, go and do it now. Don't just judge based on seeing this. Go try this. You will feel full body activation. You'll feel a difference if you're really focusing on the pressure point here and then just playing around, spending more time on the Bosu. Now we're gonna get into some mobility focused movements for the foot and the ankle that can help clear out some imbalances that we may have. So, Boyle, what are we getting into right here?
So getting to right here, if you have a slant board or even the wall, this is gonna be really good for your Achilles, your calf, really opening that up. You wanna think about flexing your quad, even flexing the front side of your shin, your tib, and pushing your hip forward. Holding this for about 30 seconds to a minute, opening up that back side. Even after doing what we did with the foot, like you're nice and warmed up, to start stretching the backside.
Yep, and so once we've opened up the backside of the calf, right, we also have to open up the foot and the ankle itself. So starting with the big toe stretch, now that we've gotten that fascia loosened up and activated, we're gonna tuck the big toe on the floor, leaning back with the torso, trying to sink as much of the weight from our hips onto our heel. If this is something that's very tight for you, go hands to floor and simply rock your hips back. Short reps here, just starting to open up the fascia at the bottom of the foot.
Moving on to the opposite of the big toe stretch, we're getting into the tib stretch. So feet are fully on the ground. We are basically trying to be comfortable in this position, just flat feet on the ground. If you cannot get into this with comfort, we're doing the same thing like the big toe stretch, basically just feeling out the level that you can handle, rocking back and forth with your hands on the floor. You want to slowly progress. Inch your way slowly up, putting more of your body weight onto the feet. Think about toes in, heels outward, and we're just being comfortable and strong in that stance right there. That's the tib stretch. So you want to work all three: slant calf, the big toe stretch, and the tib stretch for a minute each. So slant calf each side, big toe, tib. Now that we've mobilized the ankle and foot, we're going to move on to strength movements, with the simplest versions being the tibialis raise and also the bent knee calf raise. So working the front of the foot and also the back of the foot and ankle. Boyle's going to get on the bench here and work the weighted version of the tibialis raise, and I'm going to show you guys the body weight version. So you're just going to work at whatever level feels best for you. How this works is basically, if you have a tib bar, this is the best thing to be able to perform this movement. If you don't, that's fine, but you want to squeeze the quads, let the ankles hang off the bench, and we're getting that stretch at the bottom when we come up and we squeeze. Now, the body weight version is very simple. You can just grab a wall. I'm using the rack in this case. Your feet further out in front of you makes it more difficult. As you inch your feet closer, it becomes easier. What you want to do is lock out your quads, lean forward, and raise up as high as you can, controlling back down. Raise up as high as you can and fight back down. What I like to focus on is 1, 2, up, 1, 2, down. And again, inching your way up makes the movement easier. Getting about 20 to 25 reps to 1 to 2 sets, whether it's weighted or body weight, is plenty to build up the front of the foot, which we use when we cut, when we break down. This is the first muscle contracting. Now let's move on to the back side, the opposite of the tibialis, the bent knee calf raise. So Boyle is going to demonstrate the body weight variation right here. We're going to start with a double leg. We're going to get the most knee over toe that we can. What I like to focus on is the knee is directly in line with the big toe. So you're sitting there, you want to sit back on the heels, let the heels drop to the ground, and then we're raising up in a calf raise, keeping the knees bent at that same height. So we're here, right? The knees are bent at that same height. They don't ever straighten out, and you kind of want to have an even alignment from your hips all the way down to your feet, controlling up and controlling back down. You want to progress to single leg, right? Basically here, keeping that same knee bend. Chest is high. You can use assistance if you need to. And we can either work 20 reps double leg or 10 reps with control on single leg. Another way to make this harder is holding it isometric at the top of the rep. So as he comes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back down, controlled to get that ankle mobility in the Achilles. You can also work the movement weighted. Same idea. No different, just hold the dumbbell on the side of the body. And this is basically all movements that we like to work to build strong and functional feet, but also create balance throughout the body. As you noticed from the start, right? Opening up the fascia, priming the system with the Bosu ball and the PVC pipe, then mobilizing the foot, finding balance and mobility between sides. Also the ability to be able to be comfortable on the big toe, also flat feet, and then finally building strength with movements like the bent knee calf and tib raise. Boyle, you had pretty severe ankle injuries yourself. How have these movements helped you become more balanced and be more, have more foundation with, playing your sport and also just jumping around, jumping more efficiently? Yeah, do you incorporate all of these?
Yeah, definitely, because I had plantar fasciitis for years. I had a lot of bad shin splints from the inner, the outer, and then ended up breaking some bones in the front and then tearing some ligaments in the front of my ankle. So training the ankle was something I never really did in the past, but training the exact moves that you've seen in this video 2 to 3 times a week and then progressing week to week has been huge for, number one, just healing, blood flow. That's king for everything. And then the more you do this, the more blood that gets sent to that body. And 2, you're actually getting stronger progressively, right? There's a lot of variations that we do that progress from level 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, and you can never be too strong at lower leg training or any training. So I'm continuously getting stronger on this. Mooch is continuously to get stronger at this. And if you do every movement that we did here and progress to the highest level or the highest level that we showed you here, you're going to progress a lot, especially if you have any ankle, shin, foot problems.
And another thing just to mention is like building a foundation for the foot. the title of this video is it makes your body more balanced. So if you're gonna get into something like a squat, or you're going to jump off of one leg or jump off of the other leg, you may still be dealing with hip imbalances, low back flare-ups, groin tweaks, whatever it may be. But this foundation to start is probably most important, because if your feet still have imbalances, but then you just go and try to stretch your hips, right, you're still gonna be walking weird or walking with an imbalance. So you want to address the foot first. That's the first thing that comes in contact with the floor. It's probably most important. I think that's self-explanatory. It sounds like common sense, right? So you want to work that first. And yeah, this is a massive staple in our training. And yeah, last thing, we train barefoot. So we're training barefoot very often. There'll be a link down below to a barefoot training video breaking down why we train barefoot. But just being able to be strong in the foot rather than like clumping it up with the shoe. This is like clearly shown to build stronger feet and more functional feet. You want to have your toes be as functional as your hands. And so years of wearing shoes that clump the feet up, you know, we're still trying to get back, even though we train barefoot every day. And if you guys want to train on our official app on the App Store, where you can get all these videos, the demonstrations, the details programmed for you in a step-by-step system, just hit the link below or go to the App Store and just type in PAP training, and you'll be able to start training on our app with us. We coach your form in video response within 24 hours, and we try to make it as affordable as possible at $65 a month. So check that out. And as always, PAP,